pilot of the Mirror people, and we're going to stop this mine. It's not right.
When party and protest culture joined forces in the mid-90s in Sydney, it seemed like anything was possible. Amazing times were had, from unstoppable inner-city street parties to mind-blowing bush tours and Australia-wide anti-nuclear actions. The shared euphoria on the dance floor forged many alliances and inspired many crews whose primary objective was to bring good times into people's lives at the same time as spreading a positive message. The explosion of the internet had allowed new ways of communicating and publishing, uniting many facets of the underground across the world. Sydney's code-crunching crew Catalyst gave birth to the self-publishing online news format called Indie Media that then mushroomed around the world as carnivals against corporate tyranny exploded onto streets in different countries. Politics and party became fused. All-night doofs became arenas of radical transformation as attention was drawn to social and environmental injustice. As the 90s marched on, the movement grew and diversified around Australia. Reclaim the Streets, when it was seated in Sydney in 1997, supercharged the movement as its model of creative and friendly dissent exploded onto Sydney streets, spreading the message of resistance to a techno, hip-hop and reggae soundtrack. John Howard, who became Prime Minister in 1996, added fuel to the fire of cultural and political dissent which challenged his greed is good neoconservative agenda. 2 years into his reign, Australia-wide community anger manifested with an attempted storming of the Parliament during a mass protest in Canberra.
The CFMEU basically printed up a whole bunch of T-shirts, and that was called, and they named it the Cavalcade to Canberra. So various organisations and community groups, I can't remember who, but all the unions got involved and stuff, and something like 75,000 people turned up in Canberra from all over Australia. People were bloody angry about what was going on. If you look at the news footage from those times, Howard was saying that whole assault on Canberra and Parliament House was
un-Australian.
15,000 men, women, migrants, students, public servants, unionists and Aborigines from across the nation descended on Parliament House around lunchtime in a rare show of public unity.
Who owns this land?
The crowd burnt a large effigy of John Howard and began chanting in anger at the new government.
Got up on the emblem there over the Australian emblem that sits on top of the Parliament, and with a guy from Sydney Uni, an Aboriginal guy called Eddie, and he put up a Aboriginal flag and I put up a Eureka flag, and it ended up on the cover of the Financial Review of all things.
Then the mob turned ugly, scaling the wall and ripping down the Australian flag to raise their own. About 3,000 protesters began throwing their weight against the front doors, demanding to be let in. A glass window was smashed at the entrance and the protesters crawled through one after another. Police, equipped with riot gear, came flooding into the Parliament's marble halls.
And they've taken people inside. I don't know what they're doing to them. I don't know if they've arrested them, but they've dragged them off way down the back. And the public servants inside are standing around applauding it. And that's so un-Australian.
There were 38 arrests and around 60 officers were injured.
Union members gathered in most capital cities to voice their anger.
The crowd was angry at what they see is an erosion of workers' conditions.
Also rising on the wave of dissent in 1998 was the campaign to stop the building of a uranium mine at Jabiluka at the top end of Australia. The black hand over a radiation symbol became the sign of the times. Bombs Not Bombs held fundraisers at Graffiti Hall of Fame and the much-loved 61 Regent Street venue in Chippendale, and spread the word on the ills of uranium mining.
Bombs Not Bombs, Dig the Sounds Not Uranium Tour, 1998. Bombs Not Bombs has been going on since 95, protesting the French testing in the Pacific.
Bombs Not Bombs itself was a journey from doof and dancing and meeting these different people who weren't stuck in the grind of 9 to 5, let's buy a house, and actually more interested in looking at Australia and its environment and trying to help it.
The idea of going to Jabiluka to bring a bit of morale and moral support to the thousands of protesters who are up in Jabiluka, up in you know, the top end of Australia. It was harsh conditions up there. People have been protesting for months and months in dirt, heat, fighting against the establishment, against this, you know, uranium mining, this uranium tailing dam. Realising that, you know, the power and the spirit of dance and music and performance, we decided to, okay, we're going to drive a bus up there.
It's a reconciliation day. Reconciliation Day. Black and white to get together.
As you can see from some banners up on the top here, we're on an anti-uranium message. We've formed a group called Oms Not Bombs, and we're going to Jabiluka to help out with a blockade and to raise awareness to stop the Jabiluka mine.
My name's Diana Murray. Me and my grandson, he had 5 generations stolen, and his grandfather, who was stolen at the age of 2, is a resident here on the block. We stay here and live here. We're under eviction, we're under dispersal and genocide. We're being demolished on top of.
We've got the bus pink slip, so it's all ready to go to be registered. Once we sort of hitch up, get the awareness together, get the crew together, musicians, performers, talented people in general, to bring awareness to the monstrosity and the craziness of the uranium crisis.
Yes, my name's Alan Murray. I'm an elder here on the block. I'm one of the younger elders, so to speak. We give you our support, the Mirray people up there fighting at Jabiluka, for your sacred dreaming place, for your sacred stories, your dances and your songs, and you being the trustees of our mother, the land. We are grateful for you for your strong stand. We know about your problems. We have the same problem here, the same problems going on all around the country. They're ripping up our homes, they're ripping up our mother, they're poisoning our mother's blood. We know that story, and we feel for you, my people. We feel for you, and we want to tell you that we love you.